Today's Friday, and you are watching Casa. That makes it a Casa Friday, the title of our tournament. My title is MonkeyBizness. I'm one of 3 commentators going to be presenting tonight's action. We got 14 Grand Blue Fantasy Versus players lined up for this bracket, and 2 co-commentators who are probably going to be doing more commentary than me because I entered this tournament. They are Brad Muse and Dormancy. Hello to both.
What's going on, man? I've already said that the best use of Matt's time tonight is that he should only commentate his own matches and he should maximum scumbag said commentary. I think that is the way to put on the best show tonight. And if that doesn't happen, let the record show that I said up front that's what I wanted to see. I am a man of the people.
That was to me, Brad, that you need to enter this bracket.
Ooh, see,
Because
I don't need to
You
go...
have a game plan.
What would be my game? Oh, is the game plan that I should execute upon that idea? Because here's the problem. I am not a good enough player to win a single game in this bracket. So what's the fun in me commentating a game that I'm going to lose? If you want me to be self-deprecating, just ask me literally any question about myself.
No, I don't want you to be self-deprecating. I want you to have the time of your life, like all of these players are going to tonight, this Friday. A lot of new faces in the group. So excited to see some new players, people that I have seen on Twitter here and there, but haven't gotten able to line up with. Even sort of local, regional, I guess neighbors, I would say, that I've only met through quarantine times, so never in real life. But Xurkey is actually a New Hampshire player, and it's gonna bring some New Hampshire Grand Blue to the table, which I don't know if we've seen before.
Yo, this is why I rely on my co-commentators. You always know where the players are from, even at my own damn local. Sometimes somebody sits down and I'm like, who is this person? And they're like, oh, they've been here for 5 years. And I'm like, see, I know faces. I don't know names.
His birthday's May 11th. His first job was at a sewer filtration plant.
Tell me 3 more things about him.
I'm out of gas.
I felt that the character choice would be the knowledge you have. Do you know that one? No?
Let's see. May 11th. Hold on. I'm checking my charts. Yeah, okay. He's a Charlotta main. We got it.
Hold on. Do I see Xurkey in the chat putting some Power Rangers emojis in the chat as well?
Uh-oh.
Is that what I'm witnessing?
Xurkey also... Okay, wait. I got a fact that's not fake and is real and is nice. And that's that Xurkey plays a ton of different games. I think the CGN stands for Clash Gaming Network, and they've been hosting tournaments elsewhere in the week, and it's been a lot of different stuff. So Power Rangers, I think, was in the mix. I know there was a Fantasy Strike run for a little bit. Obviously, Grand Blue in the mix. Xurkey's going to show us that tonight. Yeah. But
all I know,
yeah, he definitely plays anything, which is great.
Yeah. The emote looks like it's an RJ emote, and I have had comparatively limited but recent exposure to the Power Rangers game via a friend of the show, Ed Roppel over Trace Complete, who had done some Power Rangers streams, and RJ is busted. Oh my god, who puts that much stuff in one character?
I feel like they all are though, right? It's kind of got that good Marvel formula of everyone's broken.
Yeah, every character's broken, but to watch RJ, it was okay. Imagine a game where every character is broken and now call one character broken. And that's the quality of it. And one of the things I was asking, I think his name was, and I'm so bad. I'm so historically, categorically bad, such that on the side, I'm going to vamp until I can bring up what his actual Twitter handle is so that I can put some respect on his name. Oh my God, I've tweeted a lot of useless, inundane crap in the past couple of days. But there is
try not to worry about it. Just scroll through.
There's a very capable yes, Young Dustro, okay, very capable Power Rangers commentator, and he was explaining to me why RJ was that good, and a lot of it was just to do with the fact that a lot of the way that the combo scaling works in that game is on if you have multi-hitting normals and you cancel the normal early, it doesn't trigger hit stun decay, and his entire kit is multi-hitting shit. So he just gets to
fundamentally busted.
Yeah, he his entire kit is designed to break the rules of the game. And speaking of the rules of the game, Charlotta personally offends me. I know she's not that good, but demon flips in a little lolly character are something that I'm not about. But Mike and Ike over here bringing us the Djeeta. Gonna be seeing to open up this bracket tonight, starting off Casa Grand Blue week, what is it, 16? 14 of Grand Blue.
Vibes, I think. Just aesthetically, we can get a little bit of Power Rangers rolling in the game here, but this matchup is something that we've seen a few weeks in a row now, thanks to some other players, Zerom and MBK in the past. So it's something that we're getting used to. In my experience, we see a lot of Zeta commanding neutral, but Charlotta is one of those like one hit, one kill types where you chip someone down a little bit, little icing on the cake, and then you find that one corner situation and explode somebody for it. Unfortunately, that's not going to be happening this round for Xurkey. MikeandIke's command of neutral, I think, has been sort of shown in a bunch of different games, Street Fighter and Grand Blue here. He's definitely like a star player.
Yeah, MikeandIke, doesn't he play DCint in Street Fighter 5?
I think he was playing
or was
more
it
like traditional characters. Wasn't DCint?
I
think there
I'm
was
thinking
like
of the
Fang,
wrong person.
and then
maybe I don't know anything.
It has been so long since I've seen him play Street Fighter. He was like one of my favorite players to watch in that too. And
what I do know is that Xurkey is dying to these staggers. And one thing to point out, in that first round there, it looked like MikeandIke was doing a lot of like force standing B and force standing C into back sway. And Xurkey was not swinging in those gaps, which I feel like gave MikeandIke a lot of confidence to commit to the frame traps and the block strings in that second round there to end up a much more dominant position. Getting that jump in combo there once again.
Confirm.
Finally a reversal from reversal. Reversal? Jeez.
A reversal.
That's when you do it so much that it gets even the commentators.
Ooh, that's optimal. That Rekka, that like normal Rekka in the middle there is something that not all Zeta players are picking up quite yet, but you can, if you start with your Fireball for your combo starter, you can go into heavy, I think crouching heavy into medium Rekka and pick up after it. It just packs on a little bit extra damage, but also if you wanted to, it means so you don't have to burn both your cooldowns, so that if you get an immediate pickup on your next combo, you can kind of gamble to get like twice as much damage in your two-touch.
I'm really intrigued watching this matchup. It looks like MikeandIke has not really lost control at all, and I feel like Charlotta has decent buttons for pokes, but she's just getting thoroughly outranged here, and because of it, she's getting completely controlled. Block on the reversal here, but is able to come down, so MikeandIke just gets block pressure, but still gets these hits in the corner. It's going to be optimal damage once again.
I think it's really tough for Charlotta in neutral in this matchup. Zeta's got amazing buttons, probably like 5 or 6 anti-air options, which check Charlotta's with an incredible jump nicely. And like you saw right there, that swinging medium for I think it's 8 frames at that range, and being able to hit confirm into Rekkas and like start a corner combo from, I don't know, like 3/4 screen, like pretty far out there. There's a lot of opportunity for G to get damage on the board.
Yeah, and the coolest thing is that you don't even have to be hit confirming when you're buffering off of big normals into that Rekka, because if it's EX Rekka, you can launch on hit and stop after the first 2 to be safe on block. So, especially given, you know, a little bit of familiarity around the range that your opponent likes to swing normals, you have plenty of chances to get a whiff punish or a wish punish, and then get a huge combo off of it too.
That move is such a skeleton key. Because the other thing that Monkey didn't mention is that if you're in the corner and you get sort of a block string going, you can push someone pretty far out of it with just that and be, I think, -4. But like suddenly you're not in corner combo position.
Yeah, and that's a huge deal. Not in wall bounce position against most of the cast, just after you make them block something is a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Now, can either of you explain this to me? I feel like when I'm watching Charlotta win, what I'm seeing is an alternation between a lot of 5A as a pressure tool, which obviously we didn't see because Djeeta just controlled neutral so well that the prospect of like whiffing a 5A was problematic, or seeing a lot of like Rainbow Ball, which we saw like none of. Is there something in this matchup? Is there something that Djeeta brings to the table that makes that incredibly problematic on block that we don't necessarily see in other character matchups? Or was it just a question of like the pace?
Yeah, I think that Djeeta's 6A, or yeah, not 6A, 5A. Far 5A is like maybe one of the best in the game. It's super long, pretty fast, and again confirms into a bunch of her EX specials. So at certain ranges where Charlotta's like Blanca Ball is a little more punishable, I think that Djeeta capitalizes better than some characters do. I saw EX a little bit there, which I believe is safe or mostly safe as an option, but it's kind of the same problem you were talking about with Charlotta's 5A, finding a poke. It's a match where you can't really poke Djeeta out. You have to counter poke, and in order to do that, you have to force an aggressive situation without like risking your neck, right? So ideally, I think the way I've seen Charlotta play that is get into ranges where Djeeta wants to whiff something and then rip a Blanca Ball, either as like a whiff punish or as kind of like a bet. And if you can do it safely, then you just have to kind of play the short game until your cooldown comes back. But like the thing with that match is that if you can pressure someone and have them walk back and like take a little bit of damage, you're almost playing like Zangief for a while, pushing them into the corner and then waiting for that one confirm to try to get your like life lead back.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it earlier. I feel like Charlotta is this really interesting mix of like Akuma and Armika, where like she has the options of Akuma, but has the explosive gameplay of Mika, where it's like all she needs is that one opportunity, and then it's Mix City, and it's like time to guess asshole, and then you just have to deal with it. But obviously, she has something, what some people lovingly refer to as a demon flip.
Yep.
Yeah, but Mika's not going to TOD you off her command grab, and Akuma's not going to TOD you off his air demon flip grab, and that's what Charlotta can do, and that makes the overhead option always work. One player that takes particular advantage of demon flip overhead is Have a Nice Day. I was watching them at Run and Rumble in the 3v3s yesterday, I think, and every single overhead hit, and I think both players agree to it. Because if you get hit by the low, it's a borderline TOD starter and you die, and if you get hit by the grab, you definitely die.
Yeah, I feel like I was just gonna say you basically have two choices. You either anti-air the demon flip or you accept your overhead damage. You
Demon
say thank
flip's
you.
fast though. You hope you have a DP
It's not
or
easy.
something invincible. Because I mean, if I press my big slow 2H, I'm probably going to be getting grabbed or dive kicked into full combo. And the dive kick is not the biggest starter, but it's always plus on block, and it doesn't feel productive to block it. And getting hit by it is equally unproductive, probably even less productive.
That seems super rare in this game. I feel like the notion of like dying in one hit is something that's comparatively rare in this game.
You see particular hits do particularly large amounts of damage. Counter hit overheads are among them. Charlotta air grab is definitely among them. And I think one that you might be able to see in this matchup here between DCint and Ken is the 2H damage of Ladiva. I really hope that gets displayed. It can be like around 80 if Ladiva has super. You get to do both lariats in the juggle. Hey, super actually being used already. It's not the awakening super, so it does very little damage, but it's still enough to kill.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a chunk. 2H damage is definitely high, though. I'm really hoping for the elusive 5U, something that we've seen DCint try to do in the past with varied success. But the fact that they go for it as often as they do, it's bound to hit sooner or later. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing one of those go off if possible.
Yeah, we were talking about TODs off of grabs and how Charlotta has one with her demon flip grab. I think the coolest one, the one that we all kind of hope for, is Ladiva's 5U. You'll hear that ring sound effect though. Hopefully you're playing your sound on Ken, because that's the only cue that you need to make sure you get out of its way. Oh, there it is. You didn't hear
not. Oh no.
It's
It's okay. It's right. It's right. Zeta still has 55%, so if we hit another one, we can make it go off.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the maybe thought there from DCint was that they had already cornered the opponent. Okay, this is it. Yeah, the second
Thanks,
one.
bud.
I'll
appreciate
for
it. Oh, DCint's watching the stream. No, love that. Thanks.
Yeah. Demonstrating for us. Making us look extra smart, and hopefully now Ken will be ready to jump over it if it ever comes again. But, you know, if you've already killed the opponent off of it once, do you ever need to land it again in this set? Or is the fear of it enough to keep people blocking or jumping randomly forever?
But here's the flip
Ken
side,
didn't
right?
have enough life for us to not ask for it again.
And also, here's the flip
good
side,
question.
right? Like, okay, they're gonna start holding north. What do they have to punish you for holding north? Because like that's the level 2,
Ladiva?
right? Is like, yeah,
She's got everything.
there you go. I want to see everything. Hit me with the can opener. Hit me with the Swiss Army knife. Hit me with everything.
Yeah.
Right, yanked. That's gonna be really huge in this matchup because parry does not do anything about that.
Oh my God! Empty jump super
Oh,
2A punishes it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting
that's
air
what
movement
I'm
there.
So the super there from Ladiva has it actually loses to fuzzy matches early, not on reaction.
Yeah,
Because it's not invincible. At least
the
I don't think.
super
At
is
least
so
I've tried it
cool. I feel like I never see Zeta's super skybound. I find that a lot of the Zeta players end up using the other one because there's the air confirms you can get off of it. So there's just more room to use that. But the animation for that one's like so straightforward but beautiful.
Yeah,
If
and
he's a
she makes
confirm
a
there.
very intense face. With all the
Yeah.
meter we're building in the corner now, Ken might have another chance to do it too.
Yeah, true. So the way his life bar is looking, maybe not.
Yeah.
Ooh, good
We might
poke.
see the other super.
Yeah.
I mean, a confirm into it, we might even see the regular one, like just to clean it out. If he lives long, if DCint lives long enough for a super to have to matter, which it doesn't.
Yeah, instead it's just a spear of our base in the air. It functions basically the opposite of a dive kick, except for the part where you become really hard to anti-air. Punishable on block dive kick, but she'll steer it. You know, she'll be fine.
I've always
That's
said
the
that
important part, right?
as
Yeah,
like
right.
oh wow, great backdash. Doesn't get anything off of it. As like just a general utility tool, I always find that being able to manipulate your air control is like a huge asset for any character. It feels like anytime anyone has a dive kick that is like remotely good, that character is great.
Yeah. Armor is a great asset as well, and you'd think that the command grab character would do well against the armored reversal, but so far Ken has had great success using Zeta ZX armored reversal. Maybe it'll start to get thrown in the future. DCint is definitely taking notes, at least listening to the stream chat as we continue to talk.
Ooh, good jump in.
Ashing out into big
think this
damage.
will do it.
I imagine Ken is just barely alive, but it's gonna be one mix. Oh, even more than just barely alive, but it's still one
Ooh,
mix.
waits it
Into
out.
the anti-air.
Counter
So
hit
smart from
anti-air.
DCint.
Yeah, just kind of holding onto that space, not going for that mix-up, or at least like faking it, forcing the out and then punishing it. Another good jump in.
I feel like Ken's counter poking has been very good in this game.
Yeah, Zeta's got a big 5L and Ken is really demonstrating it for us. Oh, armoring through the lariat. That's a great way to escape what would have been a corner block string. And we now return to mid-screen where Zeta's a lot more comfortable zipping back and forth, now putting DCint in the corner.
See, that displays
damage.
so much confidence on the side of Ken as well, because we've seen much more restrained play in the way that he's used that special
Burn.
before.
Yeah. Great way to go into a combo after the overheads too. Caught DCint trying to anti-air it. Ladiva 2H, real rewarding, real slow too.
Alright, next time. Chillin', not
Oh
chillin'.
no!
That's the problem with tick throws. You can never confirm off one, and so there was too much hitstone there for DCint to be able to do command throw.
Does Ladiva not have like a true like jab kick?
Oh, it's true on block, but on hit, you are too advantageous to go straight
Yeah.
to throw.
That makes sense.
Especially since I think it was counter hit there, although it was light counter hits, but it didn't matter.
Zeta's out of there. Safe pressure. Bladed ball. Ooh!
Hard game of it.
Ooh.
Tricky to
extra
continue to
poke.
combo at
Does
the
that work?
mid-screen there. Yeah, that does work. Really hard though. They have to be super high up.
Yeah. Nice. I love Ken's choice there to back up off of that special and just like keep the space, maybe go for some fireballs. I think that you can really effectively zone Ladiva out. Though I think with super it gets a little bit riskier to throw the projectiles.
Yeah, I think we won't be seeing any of that for a while.
Ooh, blocks the reversal, but still stuck, and ends up being a corner switch here on the side of Ken.
Wow! Love that sweep. Oh no!
Safe jump on the other side. DCint takes it 2-1. We switched sides in that corner over and over and over again. It was a tug of war, and DCint came out on top. And you might expect a character like Ladiva to be able to win any tug of war. That was proven true here with DCint versus Ken. A really
Yeah,
cool matchup
canonically.
between pretty rare characters at this point, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to see Zeta. I played her a lot in the
Zeta
beginning.
fell off a little bit, but I think that she's still really strong. And if you're a grappler player, well, there's two things you can do. You can either play the true pure grappler, Ladiva, or you could play the best grappler in the game, Percival.
Percival. And that's what I'm going to be demonstrating as I play Starks in Winners Round 2 on stream next.
Ooh.
Oh, now you're gonna be disrespectful, right?
You want me to stay here?
Provide
and-
us.
Oh
I
my
want to be
God.
mumbling clip that to everyone in chat the whole match.
Yeah. But like all I'm saying is if you entered, why are you here if not to let your opponent know exactly what you think of them the whole time you're playing?
I'll do it after, but I want to give Starks the respect that I think they probably deserve.
The quality content,
Yeah.
the showmanship.
So that's the thing. Do you want to give a good game or do you want to give a good show for the people at home?
The show
Well, now,
depends
Brad, we can
upon
do
me
both.
being able to focus on the game, I think. And
Does
if
it? I'm not
if
sure
too
that that's
focused on-
true.
Well, maybe you don't know how good I am at Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Yeah, Brad.
Maybe
how
I'm
come you never watch
overestimating you.
How can you ever watch our matches?
Oh, I'm stealing.
Because
player
I'm
one, by the way.
always scheduled for like top 8
Oh,
Street
poor
Fighter and
priority.
I'm like taking a nap or something beforehand.
Yeah. I'm gonna deafen for now. If it's super free, you know I'll be getting back on the mic in either way, by the way.
Ooh, you
even if
heard
they
it.
threw me
If
out.
it comes Oh, okay.
Mid-match.
So to be like, yo, if Matt turns the mic back on, he said it's free.
I don't know.
That's not what we're
Last
at.
week when Matt turned the mic back on, it was not because it was free.
could go either way.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be happy to report.
Well, in
Starks,
the
I think, is
interim-
another a new name. I'm not familiar with them.
I'm looking over the previous 2 Grand Blue brackets, which is all that I had pulled up, and I certainly do not see the name on there. And we're loading straight in
Ooh.
already, but while we have a second of downtime, if any of y'all are feeling so generous, make sure you check out our Matcherino and use Casa GB versus 16 to contribute that free 50 cents to the pot. It goes straight to the players. I'm sure that Dom is playing the slides for it the whole time. In fact, he's so ready that he already said it in the chat. And we're going to have to see how Monkey handles Starks over here playing the Lancelot. I feel like this ends up a really interesting matchup, right? Like, Percival
Yeah.
so much wants to keep you, like, at the tip of all of his buttons, and Lancelot so much just wants to smother you.
Well, you know,
It's
you'd be
completely
surprised.
hypothetical gameplay.
You'd be surprised at how much Percival actually wants to get in there. And I think Monkey, as a player, you'll be able to see that at some point. He can definitely play the keep away game against Lancelot, but right here, suddenly you start seeing pressure, and it doesn't end up being right next to the character model, but he's still in your face, even from 3 feet away.
Oh, sure, but the thing about the pressure, right, is because the buttons reach so far and because the fireballs hit so meaty, is you can end up setting up strings where, they're respecting your negative frames enough that, you're still able to continue poking in ranges and frame advantages where you shouldn't necessarily be able to because it's this kind of weird gray area.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's kind of a game of spacing traps, and the way you can really shut that down, if at all, is to get kind of risky with your spot dodges and your reversal options. Lancelot's reversal teleport can get him out of a lot of bad situations, and if you make the read on a follow-up attack that's not an anti-air, you can get a full punish off of it.
You see, Matt? Yeah, and there it is, going for the...
GG.
Ooh!
You asked for
Exactly like
this.
that.
You
But
asked for this.
But that's exactly what I meant, right? You see the disrespect of Percival's minus, but if the Percival player's feeling flexing on you, you get that DP there in that situation. It's no. You don't get to just counter poke for free here. My block string ended up where I'm far enough away that I can still play my game. You got to respect me.
Full screen reversal. I'm muting Monkey when he comes back in here. That was something else. Troublemaker. The thing with this character too is that because of the command grab option, if you find that somebody is not respecting the throws, you can just run up and open them up with that, and it adds a whole new dynamic.
Oh my god. Already has Skybound? Jesus.
Yeah,
So fast.
crazy meter.
Still alive
Ooh.
is Starks, but
That
Monkey
movie's
Business
crazy.
Yeah, it looks so advantageous. It looks so good, such high priority. And just like that, he promised that if it was looking free, he'd come back in here. But right now he's up at game point, having lost no rounds, and he has not turned his mic back on. There we see the command grab.
And just goes for the extra stocks. I like that. Gets something off one. Seems to get paid off.
Oh, the disrespect. He's gotten a lot of that counter hit overhead. It's just worked out for him with like micro dash forward and a counter hit overhead. Starks is showing that he's very antsy trying to 5A and just uppercut through the fireball dash forward. If you're going to come at MonkeyBizness, you got to hit with something better than the day 2 tech.
I feel like that fireball is like very empowering as a player. Like you let it rock, it's slow, it sets up a lot of mix if there's not a reversal option on it, but it means that it's a good read to try to check it with an EX reversal, and Percival is able to do that much earlier than most characters are, just because of the forward momentum that his like EXDP provides. So you definitely have to be aware of that as of Lancelot. I think that it looked like Lancelot's kind of struggling to deal with the pressure from Percival in that matchup, and it's hard to do. I mean, my personal experience playing with Monkey, I had to like bang out like 12 matches before I could even figure out where I wanted to be. And you know, once he's in your face, you're getting like spacing trapped, and then you're getting frame trapped with EX projectile, and then you're getting command grabbed, and it starts to feel really overwhelming really fast.
Hey, are we still talking about me?
Who?
I mean, we're talking about Percival, I suppose. Yeah, it's this weird spot, right? Where like he stands at these ranges. It's this weird. So many people kind of live and die by the frame data, right? Like there's the meme of like frame data as a social construct. But like I feel like Percival's a great example of that in a character where it's like, yeah, I'm minus, but like I'm at a range where if you're picking the button to check me, I'm far enough away that I can whiff punish your check and like blow you up for trying to check me. And that sort of level 1 version of the frame data, your turn, my turn game completely doesn't work if you're playing with a character who knows how to utilize that spacing to their advantage. I feel like Percival has a kit that really lends itself to doing that, where you set yourself up at like these nebulous frame advantages, but you're in a range where if somebody's not thinking about the spacing, they're just thinking about the frames, you're going to punish them for it.
Yeah, it works both ways. And if they're just thinking about the spacing, then they're going to be struggling with actual scientific frame traps. But best of all, even if I'm completely negative and in the wrong range, I'm still going to be pressing DP. My favorite thing I did that set, if I may draw attention, is I did normal into light stock charge, which gives you just 1 stock on block, into DP, knowing that Lancelot wants to sweep to try to punish or check me. And yeah. I recovered just in time. I have like 1 frame to just mash DP and hit Lancelot out. And I was able to do that to take one of the rounds, maybe game 2, round 1, I think it was. And it keeps the pace so high. Like when you remove people's ability to check you, you are given leeway to get away with so much with Percival. And everything's so rewarding as long as you have stocks.
Yeah, I noticed at one point you going for a knockdown to go into stocks rather than extra damage, it seemed. And you immediately converted off of that into a corner combo that like needed the stock to continue. So clearly it paid off.
Yeah, as long as you have 1, you're pretty set with the character.
Yeah.
if you have 3, you're rich, and if you have 5, you're the best character in the game. I don't think I ever had 5 that whole set.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I use EX moves and stocks so aggressively. I feel like my APM is a little, almost too high. I'll have to consult the other Percivals on that one, but we don't have Tega in the bracket today, so I might be the senior Percival rep. I know mix-ups in the bracket, but they mostly play Loane. Maybe as of last week, they're now mostly playing Percival. I'll be excited to see them because Mix-Up and I have developed a nice rivalry for sure.
Yeah, you guys have had a nice back and forth. So
You're
gotta
also
say, if that's
on
gonna
opposite
run,
ends of the bracket.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
You guys are climbing the mountain at the same time.
You are already in top 8 winners side, where you will play the winner of MikeandIke and our Honorable Blue. Mix-Up also already in top 8 winners side, where he plays the winner of Zerom and DCint. So
it's gonna be tough.
If you're gonna be bumping into them, it's not gonna be until winners finals at the soonest.
That would be
I mean,
hype.
Unless both of you lose, in which case you meet in losers finals.
Okay. So the stakes will be high if we do ever meet.
Yes, that's the ultimate takeaway. That is
Yeah.
certainly an adequate descriptor.
For reference, every single set Mix-Up and I have played has gone to last game, last round.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you're promising a real
Beautiful.
nail biter, but you also promised that if you played a match that was free, you'd turn the mic on, and you didn't. No disrespect to Starks over here. I know you're being a little bit of a punching bag, and I apologize for that.
Right, I gotta tell you, you gotta learn one thing about Grand Blue, and that's that you can't trust Percival players
Absolutely
No,
not.
ever.
that's. I mean, if you could trust Percival players, you could trust the frame data, and we've just spent the last 2 minutes discussing how you could not. So,
And you don't believe in astrology, but you believe in frame data? Are you for real?
were you part of that conversation where I said I didn't believe in astrology?
No, I'm just guessing.
That's a safe. That's an incredibly safe guess. Now we see Starks versus FBoyDaKing. We are jumping down into the losers bracket.
Gran now, which is exciting for me. I haven't seen a Gran in this tournament for a little while, and now that I've sort of picked the character up, I'd love to see more of it. Ooh, good punish.
Ooh, the DP through the overhead. Doesn't want to play none of that nonsense. A lot of decent 5A checks here from both of these players.
This matchup is so quintessential at this point. This is like the Ryu Chun-Li. You get a lot of poking game. They both have really strong like safe pressure. It's not a direct mix-up game as much as it is just like overwhelming forward motion.
Overwhelming forward motion at the helm of Timberland boots. It is Gran's boot that I think poses the biggest threat to Katalina's game plan, because its hitbox to hurtbox ratio is so good that you can even hit some of Katalina's biggest buttons. And also,
I got a feeling about
as
the
you
game
see,
plan.
wall bounce from across the entire screen. Starks almost picked up a full combo there too.
You gotta understand those boots. They're not just steel-toed. They're steel-ankled, steel-heeled, steel-footed, and I would argue even steel-legged.
I just want to point out how sick that anti-air confirm from FBoyDaKing there was, where he canceled into the parry and then stepped forward to be able to finish it. Good presence of mind.
Yeah, I really love the different sort of ways to frame kill and move after a counter hit confirms. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you're dead?
Yeah.
You're dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Big
It's a really good
dragon.
demonstration as well of presence of mind. You see Starks pressing light buttons when F-Boy did a jump in that hit so high in the air that I think Starks had a clue that that jump in was not going to be 2+ on block. Ended up counter hitting whatever F-Boy tried and put himself up one game in the set here.
Making it happen at round one here. I hope he sticks to Gran, comes back and loses bracket and punts your Percival into the moon.
Oh, damn. You want to see the action? You're calling out the run back with your co-commentator. Your co-co-commentator.
Something personal.
It's
For
always
me.
personal.
It's personal for Starks and for you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so much commitment on that reversal. Doesn't get it. Starks put on the back foot, but gets the back throw.
Yeah, punish wasn't too nasty there. I think that, kind of demonstrating that you're willing to do that is worth it if you don't get smashed for it. That being said, punch goes off afterwards and pre-confirm.
Well, once again, an early
Going
jump
overhead
in, getting
knee.
counter hit by a 5A.
Dangerous
All right, overheads
territory
are
now.
on sight right now. Ooh, doesn't
No
finish
super
there.
confirm off the air to air.
Yeah. A little bit of a scramble, but we got there. Ugh. Cash it.
It's been a
That comes
it's
back.
been a very scrambly matchup. So much of people getting out their light autos off 5A in situations where it doesn't necessarily seem as though they will. Matt called out
was that
the
a
jump
spot
in
dodge?
hitting.
Yeah, spot
That
dodge
might
with
have
a full
been.
punish there, and Starks not really caring to optimize too big right here, saving the fireball for later. Just keeping the DP around for any circumstance that they think it might be a good idea. A lot of DP so far from Starks, and I think F-Boy, if they know the big damage DP punishes on Katalina, where you airborne launch the opponent across the screen, could really send a
lot.
message.
And there's a boot.
Yeah, not a plus boot. F-Boy recognizes and challenges, or at least discovers that it's not plus by mashing. It works.
It's
Yeah,
one of the two.
plus frames on that are
Yeah.
pretty specific, and you can visually see it's kind of like a die pick where you see it hit at the ankles, and you're like, okay, like I've got time to swing.
Yeah. Starks now deprived of the EX Fireball. Not many ways to generate rushdown, but we're at mid-screen, so that
Sitting.
may not be the focus here.
Wondering. Or
Back
dashing.
now.
Yeah.
All
F-Boy
right.
watching, waiting, commiserating. Getting counter hit. Maybe punished on that? No big punish there from
No.
Starks.
Swings on
I
A.
need to stop us for one goddamn second. Was that a Blink 182 reference?
Brad, now on commentary with you, I've done Blink 182 and Dragon Force through the Fire and Flame lyrics, just so you know.
We're going through the whole catalog of Guitar Hero. Wow, just sits there and waits for it. I love that.
Yeah, it was an important DP debate. The first blocked DP I think we've seen, and thankfully as well, the first adequately punished, goes straight to the super and gets the kill.
Yeah, it's good to recognize those stressful moments for your opponent to sort of flip the DP switch, and it definitely paid off there. That would have killed him too.
Great punish, 7 frame sweep, straight to the knockdown. You could probably cancel it for a little more damage, but it's still the right normal to choose for sure.
Yeah, if you're gonna go with just one button, it's gonna be hard knockdown.
Nice
Stark has been
combo.
going to anti-air comparatively often. We're seeing FBoy starting to mash DP through those gaps to blow up the anti-air not the anti-air, the overhead specifically.
And if the opponent's been successful opening you up, whether it's overhead or throw, neither of those are playing patient waiting for DP. So let it rip, right? FBoy died once to it in the previous round, but that's still no reason to stop, especially when you got all this life, and the punishes so far haven't been too big.
Yeah, recognizing your life lead and deciding that, like, letting that let you take more risks, kind of have some, like, goofier play to squeeze out a little bit of extra damage if it steals the round. It's good to know that you're ready to commit to that.
Anybody that's up one round is more willing to take risks like that.
Absolutely.
That's actually the most important thing to be looking for when you're facing Ladiva or DCint Ladiva. If the Ladiva's up around, be ready for that U grab and be ready to go to this guy, because the set will end if it hits.
Katalina doesn't really have too many like Hail Mary moves like that. The rush punch, you can argue certain ranges, it bounces from real far out.
Oh yeah, I think it's actually as good, if not better than Boot. And it's a counter hit launcher too, even without EX. So yeah, that's why you can see FBoy's throwing it out. No matter what gets caught, it's going to be a combo at this spacing.
A dash through, that's one thing that I love seeing from Starks right now, is that's twice that he's used like mobility on defense to catch that move. He hasn't got really great punishes off them, but it's a unique way to kind of show that you're not allowed to dash from full screen anymore. And wall bounce here is going to lead to a lot of damage. I think it's going to be more than enough.
Yeah, that's a good kill for Starks. Puts themselves on match point in doing so. And one thing that I actually appreciated seeing from Starks there was after the first punish got dropped, Starks went straight to some kind of mix-up and did overhead off auto combo, and it worked. But it's still a good way to salvage an opportunity out of a dropped opportunity and do so instantly, you know? Wow, the perfect choice. Not plus enough for whatever Starks is trying though. FBoy mashes out. We return to mid-screen and now return to the corner.
Yeah, you're back. Welcome.
Mashing out of the overhead has been so consistent through this particular player and character matchup too. We've seen so much of it. No challenge on the spot dodged whiff, or I should say a little late on the challenge.
And like, a little late. Ooh, what's gonna happen here?
Oh, they both went to DP.
Oh wow!
Anime!
EX proved more powerful, and then meaty overhead was the most powerful offensive choice of the day. So many sequences for Starks started with that overhead, and FBoy was more successful DPing out of them than blocking. I think in that case, there was no DP available. The only choice was to block, but it did not come. And so Stark stays alive here, making our run back a little bit more likely.
Well, you're still on opposite ends of the bracket. If you bump into each other, it's in losers semis at the soonest.
A little bit more likely.
Sure, I mean, in the sense that Starks is still in the bracket, certainly. Also still in the bracket is Sulk Hogan, waiting in the other half of loser side top 8 to play the winners of DCint and A3R, and Starks plays the winner of MikeandIke and I Can. Mike and Ike having lost to Honorable Blue, setting up your top 8 match, Matt, against Honorable Blue, and Mix Up versus Zerom as the other half of winners side top 8. We are just barreling through this Grand Blue bracket.